Welcome back to another lesson. In this one, metals and non-metals, which is an important topic because you'll be expected to know the properties of either and be able to explain them as part of questions up to 6 marks. These link into your bonding and their properties, as well as just a general understanding of the periodic table and where to find them. Now, the metals are actually found on the left-hand side of our periodic table, whilst non-metals are found on the right. And you can always differentiate the two by the staircase that's formed by the split of metals and non-metals. In terms of physical properties, this is where the two split, and they are pretty much opposites of one another. So, focusing on our metals, they are good conductors of electricity, but also of heat, and they have relatively high melting and boiling points. And you can see here our non-metals are the opposite. Metals are really malleable and ductile, and this means they can be hammered into shapes or stretched into wires, as we have with our copper wires in a lot of our electronics. And lastly, metals can be quite shiny, whereas our non-metals are dull. And you will be expected to explain these properties, and we'll have a look at this in future videos. Now, in terms of bonding, our elements are just going to rearrange themselves in various different compounds by bonding together. And you can make a variety of different compounds by doing this. And there are 3 main types of bonding. Our first one is metallic bonding. And as the name suggests, this only occurs when atoms of metals join together. This one is an example of lithium here. And when we have our ionic bonding, this is where a metal and a non-metal will bond together, forming ions. And lastly, our covalent bonding is when non-metals bond together, again forming these compounds or simple covalent molecules. And we will have a look at drawing these dot and cross diagrams, especially with ionic compounds and covalent compounds in upcoming lessons. Now let's take what we've learned and apply it to some past paper questions. Here's your first one. Take the next minute to work through this, and if you need more time, just pause the video. Otherwise, skip ahead. Let's see how we've done. These are just some of the answers you could have gone with, and these are just describing iron, but the opposites are also true. Iron, being a transition metal, has a high melting and boiling point. It conducts electricity as well as heat, and it's a solid at room temperature. Again, that links into the high melting point. And here's one more question for you to try. Take the next 30 seconds. And here's the answer to this question. For this one, we just had to count up the individual oxygen atoms, as well as the silicon atoms, and then just simplify the ratio down, where for each 1 silicon, there are 2 oxygens. Okay, Let's summarize. We have our periodic table with our split, or that staircase that separates the metals on the left and the non-metals on the right. And of course, we have the various different physical properties that link in with either, and you are required to memorize these. In our next lesson, we'll be looking at covalent bonding. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. I'll see you in the next video.